Open,
7,
me, talk
6,
about both teams.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Arlington has won the Super 8 Massachusetts State Championship.
Good evening and welcome to ACMi's Friday Night Football. Tonight, your Spy Ponders open league play against crosstown rival Winchester. The Sachems come in rolling with 2 out of 3 league wins, while Arlington looks to rebound from a hard-fought loss to title contender Stoneham. I'm Scott Zwick, and as always, I'm alongside my partner, Rob Anthony. Ponders open league play against Winchester, a rival.
Winchester's absolutely a rival, Scott. They come in with high hopes on the season. Winchester Athletics is on an uptick, as you know, Scott, and their 2 non-conference wins give them a lot of confidence. Last week against Wakefield, they paced Wakefield 34-14. Spy Ponders lost a tough one last week against Stoneham. They played well, but Stoneham was a little bit too much for them, and they come into the contest 1-1, having beaten Cambridge Ringe Latin 37-0 on opening night.
Rob, we saw last week that the Spy Ponders fought valiantly against a foe that maybe had a little more talent than them. What are we expecting tonight talent-wise?
Well, we're expecting the Ponders to fight hard. I think they were happy with how they played. Stoneham was a good team that was a game away from the Super Bowl last year, so there was no shame in the loss. Adam Bowler played well and slung the ball around the field. I think they'll look to complement him, give him some help with a running game. And defensively, the Ponders were stout up the middle, and they handled the running game of the Stoneham Spartans well. They did give up the big play over the top, which is something that the Winchester Sachems also like to go to.
And Winchester comes in at 2-0. They're kind of rolling, Rob. We mentioned at the onset that this is a rival game. What does that mean to this area of football rivalry?
Well, I mean, they're very natural rivals, and over the last 10 years, let's say, the Ponders have had some up years where they've won the Middlesex League, but they've also had a number of years when they've been in that 2-3 spot. Winchester has been in that 3-4 spot. Ponders have topped them in recent years, and Winchester would desperately like to flip that. Do the Ponders know that Winchester would desperately like to flip that? Winchester wants what Arlington has. I hope Arlington is ready for that.
I hope they are too. And we were talking before the broadcast. You said that to me about what Arlington has, and as someone that's followed Arlington for a long time, sometimes you take for granted that 3-4 slot, and it's something that Arlington worked very hard to get.
Oh, absolutely, Scott. I mean, this is something that builds up over the years, and and you are very familiar with the Winchester Sachems. We'll get into that a little bit, and you know that athletically the whole school is rolling a little bit. There's tremendous participation. The boys basketball team last year was very, very strong. The football team showed that they made great strides, and they could sneak up on the Ponders here. I mean, they're undefeated on the year. This would hardly be an upset if they took this game.
It wouldn't be an upset, and Rob, I'll tell you, as someone, yes, you mentioned, I do live in Winchester. There's kind of a little a resurgence, a renaissance, if you will, across the board in all sports. And you have a sport like football. Oftentimes football is kind of the face of an athletic program, isn't it?
Absolutely, Scott. And football would like to lead the way. And participation in Winchester football is high. I counted close to 50 guys on the roster, which is very strong. And like I say, and they're led by a quarterback, Tony Fiorentino. He is 6'3", 215 pounds. He's a big kid. He looks to have a very strong arm. He can sling the ball all over the field, they're going to be a tough foe for Arlington tonight.
They are, and for Arlington, Rob, they came into last week with a little pep in their step. They certainly fought valiantly. It was a tremendously hard-fought contest. Tonight, can you take momentum from a loss?
Well, I don't know, Scott. We'll see. The game was almost too close to call. There were a couple little turnovers that turned the game at the end. I don't know that the let's see. We're going to see if they had a tough week of practice, a good week of practice, whether they had a good attitude, whether they come out firing on all cylinders. Their second home game, I would certainly expect that.
And our sideline reporter tonight is Max Cohen. We're happy to have Max with us. Welcome, Max, and maybe you could shed some light on, we have a rivalry game. What are the players feeling? What did you feel when you were playing about rivalry games?
Sure. American Heritage, I'm going to be honest, didn't have a lot of rivals because we would just mow down everyone, but our crosstown rival was Atlantic High School. They were right across, literally like across the road from us. We played one game against them, I think, the whole time, because most of the time they were not good enough to face us, but Atlantic, it was the whole atmosphere changed in that arena that night, in that stadium. There's people on either side. Stands are packed full of people, and you can just feel the intensity come up 10 notches.
I'm sure you could. And Max, what did you see last week that you think the Spy Ponders might be able to take with them and build on for this game, especially on the defensive end?
They caused turnovers last week. That was something that kept them in the game. They're able to create a few turnovers that let them have the ball back, and if they can capitalize on those turnovers, they can get easy wins.
Rob, we did see him turn the ball over, turn Stone over several times last week. In a game like this, where very evenly matched teams, oftentimes it's the team that blinks first, a turnover, a big play that can make the difference.
Yeah, no question. And last week at the home opener, I think we were both very impressed with, the details and the special teams of the Spy Ponders, and that was evidence of a big camp. And sometimes the home opener can be a time when there's some jitters on the field, playing in front of the home crowd for the first time. The Ponders handled that kind of pressure very, very well. There will be no such pressure tonight for them. This is the third game of the year. We should start to see them, start to hit their stride. And yes, certainly if they can turn over the Sachems, they would very dearly like to do that.
And Rob, in the coaching matchup, we have Wally Demboski for the Sachems, a veteran coach, but we saw last week with the Spy Ponders facing another veteran coach that Coach Gendron is really kind of coming into his own. His fourth season here, his program is really kind of taking the flavor on of who he is.
Yeah, there's no question about that, Scott.
Right.
So we talked to Coach many weeks before games, and he is very kind of detailed and perseveres in his planning for the opponent. So he will have a scouting appointment. He will have a game plan, and the team will spend the week installing the game plan. They're just not running around the field playing football. They're preparing for the other team. A Coach Gendron team is also one that's going to be energetic, that's going to be positive, that's not going to get down, that's not going to be flustered in different circumstances. That's what we have seen, and that's what we saw last week.
And that is what we saw. We talked to Coach Gendron before the game tonight. He said that he felt Winchester, they got a lot of trick plays in their favor, and he said that he felt attention to detail was going to be something that the Spy Ponders had to focus on, and we've seen that attention to detail. The Spy Ponders are a little bit of a unique club, kind of a modern-day Rock'em Sock'em, in that they're a hard-hitting club, they're a tough club, they never quit, they're blue-collar in that way, but they sling the ball around.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Adam Bowler, I think we saw last week that he has kind of a pro-style arm. He's a very strong pocket passer. He can get the ball deep into the seam, which is a real skill. He throws it hard down the middle. And when you have a strength like that at quarterback, that gives you a lot of options to do other things. And, you know, quite honestly, the Sachems and Fiorentino have the same kind of quarterback. They run a little bit more of a spread offense, so they'll do a lot of dinks and dunks. But he can use all, I like to say, 9 quadrants of the field. And so we're going to see 2 quarterbacks tonight who can throw the football.
Coach Jenner also mentioned that he felt that there was a little bit of a weakness in Winchester's defense to the weak side of the field, the short side of the field. So that's something to look for tonight. You know, Rob, we saw last week that the Spy Ponders weren't really able to get a running game going, and that's really, I thought, we talked a little bit afterwards, that might have been a little bit of what the Stoneham Club was giving them, and not necessarily they can't run the ball.
Well, let's hope so. Let's see. I would go so far as to predict that the team that runs the ball best will come away with a win. I think both teams are going to need to run the ball. I think the problem with the style of offense that the Sachem plays is that they need to execute drives for a long period of time and hit a lot of plays. And that can be hard to do, and the Ponders certainly have an aggressive style defense, and executing long drives against the Ponders with the kind of spread that the way the Sachems run will be difficult unless they can run the football. And you know, for the Spy Ponders, I'd like to see them take a little bit of pressure off of Adam Bowler and be able to get 4 or 5 yards on first down, and that makes him more dangerous because that will open up the short pass as well as the long pass. And the long pass won't be a necessity. The long pass will be a little bit more of a surprise when they go there.
The professor taking us to school as to what the Spy Ponders are going to need to do. And Rob, as we see the captains out there for their pregame instructions, you know, Rob, the Spy Ponders have in the past been a balanced team, so you know Coach Gendron doesn't want to be a pass-happy team.
That's right, and you know, the Spy Ponders feel pretty good about their running game. I know they do. Joey Pazia, senior captain, and you see him out on the field, number 21, is a tough runner. He's an experienced runner. He got a lot of carries last year. He can run in between the tackles, and that's exactly the kind of running game I think that the Spy Ponders need. Again, if that can be successful, that sets up the play action, and that also opens up, opens up both the short pass and the long pass.
It does, and the captains exchange pleasantries, and the Spy Ponders greet them with some enthusiasm as we will wait for the national anthem. And while we do, Rob, it is Pazia, but remember they also have Tyler Callahan, and Tyler Callahan has been quite the spark plug for the Spy Ponders.
Tyler Callahan can do an awful lot of things.
Of Winchester High School.
The
Spy Ponders of Arlington High School.
And quite honestly, I see number 8 not in pads tonight.
Right on cue.
Right on cue.
And we're going to pause for our
as we
national
honor
anthem.
America by the playing of our national anthem, which will be sung by Olivia Carpenter.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
And let's get ready to play some football. The 1-1 Spy Ponders take on their crosstown rivals, the Winchester Sachems, who come in at 2-0. And Rob, the Spy Ponders will get the football first, and it'll be the team, we said earlier, oftentimes the team that creates that first spark that gets something going.
Enjoy the game.
No question, Scott. And the Spy Ponders.
We're going to kick it.
Spy Ponders last year, last week, covered kicks very well. The special teams were exemplary, and they'll look to do the same tonight.
Ricky Welch, the 5'8" senior, will return for the Sachems, and it's a little squib kick taken by Christian Morris, and the Sachems will take over 1st and 10 from their 35.
Takes it to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10.
For Sachems to run a shotgun-style offense, often with 4 receivers, 2 slots, 2 wides. Captain Curran, Brendan Curran, will be often the lone back, number 30.
So Fiorentino breaks the huddle with Curran, the single back, just like the professor. Told you we have trips to the top of your screen, a little bit of a train formation. 1st and 10. And there'll be a little keeper for Fiorentino, and he rumbles and stumbles and bumbles and rock and rolls.
Tony Fiorentino
Lowers his shoulder, and taking the brunt of that was Stephen McGivery. Impressive run by Fiorentino.
Wow, Fiorentino gives it up on the very first play, lowers his shoulder, and sent McGivery into next Tuesday. And McGivery, as we know, usually brings the wood. Fiorentino came to play. If you're the Sachem, you're also wanting him to protect his right shoulder a little bit. He's going to need to use that as the game progresses.
Just like the open last week where Bowler kind of got his shoulder clocked, here Fiorentino's using his shoulder as a hammer, and he gets a good gain on 1st down. Although Stripes is a little bit confused. So we're gonna redo that. I don't like that. Never happened. His shoulder he didn't hit his shoulder. McGivery didn't get knocked to the turf. So 1st and 10.
Twilight Zone.
Fiorentino will get the play from the sideline, as you usually see at the college level. They do this a lot. So 1st and 10 empty set now as Curran goes wide. Fiorentino steps up, delivers a strike. A nice little pitch and catch there.
Fiorentino's pass
Is complete to Captain Matt Romanga.
with the reception.
And a little pitch and a catch early.
They put 5
down.
wide receivers out, and they spread out the defense. That opened up the middle there, and the Sachems capitalized.
So it'll be 2nd and 1 after a nice little gain, a little 9-yard gain there. Fiorentino to Romanga.
No safety for the Spy Ponders at all.
Everyone in the box. It's a run, and stumbling and bumbling and mumbling. That time goes Curran, and a little pass run there. Sachems get a 1st down early.
It's going to be a 1st down.
Curran, kind of a fire plug type runner. He's 5'9", 160, and that time he showed that he can use his low center of gravity to his advantage, pushing the defenders back.
Coach Gendron did bring those safeties up for run support. Didn't help as much as he would have liked. 1st and 10, clock rolls, coming up on 9 minutes left in the quarter. Little option here, maybe an RPO, and Curran tries to get the edge. Is brought down by Gustavo Sajan, and a little RPO maybe there for the Sachems.
Might have been an RPO, run pass option. Certainly an option. Good pursuit that time by Sagazian and the Spy Ponders.
And that'll bring up a 2nd and 6 as the Sachems, they don't really huddle, Professor, but what they do is they get the play from the sidelines. You see them there. It's being radioed in or signaled in by an assistant coach. And they bring a little motion this time on 2nd and 6. And here's Curran over the right-hand side. Stumbles and bumbles and mumbles for another Sachem first down. And Curran is just what you said, Rob, a little jitterbug, a little spark.
Yeah, and the Sachems getting it done on the ground, and that's going to open up the passing game. They like to see that. And now we have in the ball game number 28 for which is Jimmy Gibbons.
And
so they've got a little bit of a 1-2 punch in the backfield.
Gibbons will come in, and since he came in there, they know huddle. The Spy Ponders would have been able to substitute. And here is Gibbons right on cue. Slithers, falls over the 40 to about the 36. A nice little gain there. So a little 1-2 punch. And right now, Winchester has a little momentum going on offense.
Yeah, no question. And they're testing out the Ponders defense and trying to find something that'll work for them. So far, they haven't found something that hasn't worked for them.
No, it's been Florentino on a keeper. He's thrown the ball. They've run the ball with Curran, and now they've run it with Gibbons. So it's a balanced attack. And now a little play action. And right down the seam, a little pitch, a nice little catch. Goes Florentino to Captain Matt Ramanga, and the Sachems are in business.
Great look that time by Fiorentino. He's a tall kid. He can see over the defense. He spotted Moronga in the seam. Moronga wasn't his primary target that time. He was his second look. But he spied, noticed that he was open and had room, and got the ball to him. Impressive throw by Fiorentino.
So 1st and goal from the 8. Curran is back in the ball game. And if that's a timeout for the Spy Ponders, I like it a lot. They don't really... Yeah, it is for the Spy Ponders. And Rob, the Spy Ponders kind of took one in the chin right here, and the timeout maybe kind of settle everyone down, say, okay, we went over this stuff in practice. We know what we're doing. We just have to complete our responsibilities.
It's all about the responsibilities, and it's clear that all 11 guys are going to have to play, as Bill Belichick would say, do their job, because the Sachems are going to spread them out. And they're not going to be able to guess at what the Sachems are going to do. They're not going to be able to overload one side. They're not going to be able to sell out for the run. We've got a varied attack, and all 11 guys are going to have to step up and perform.
So we have a power pistol formation. Shifting out of it now is Curran. So 1st and goal for the Sachems. And back to Curran, who rumbles, stumbles, and bumbles into the end zone for the Sachems, and they take their early lead.
Wow, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? Wow, Curran just got the ball, and he went over right tackle behind his big blockers, and the Ponders really hardly got a hat on him.
Coach Curran and Coach Gendron can't really like what they saw there. Right over the A-gap, the teeth of the defense, and Curran just kind of stumbled into the end zone. Here, Florentino will try the extra point, and is blocking. Take that for 2. He can take that for 2. He uses a stiff arm, and off he goes. This can be 2 points. Sam Swift goes to the 20, to the 10, and 2 points for Arlington. And a big shift of momentum for the Spy Ponders. Bing, bang, boom.
Wow, big play by the Ponders and Swift. First they get penetration up the middle and smother that football. And then Sam Swift has the presence of mind to pick it up and dash for 2 points the other way. He knew the rules. He had the ability. There was one player to beat, and the Sachem fell down at about the 35 and just gave it to him.
The stiff arm was key. He pushed his man off, and once he got there, he was able to get some separation. And, Rob, that's a big play. The Sachems had a lot of momentum there, and Arlington was giving and giving and giving, and finally they gave back.
they gave back. And if I'm not mistaken, the Ponders get the football now, so they're not down 7 as they might have been. They're down 4, and they're getting the football feeling good about themselves, which is not what always happens when the other team has kind of marched down the field on your defense.
So after an exciting, electrifying first inning, the Spy Ponders lead 6-2, bottom of the first. And
Max liked that one.
he did.
I was about to say it's like a baseball game.
It is like a baseball game. And Max, so since we're in touch with you, let us know what's the flavor down there in the field as the Sachems kick off.
Well, I mean, I don't think they've given up yet. You know, you have to stay tough. It's a good first drive for the Sachems. There's a lot of time left in this game, and they're looking like they could still do it. Look at that. It was a good return. Getting a good start, driving the guy into, tough play.
Well, I can talk about the flavor here in the booth. Number 1 daughter Bianca Zwick has shown up. She's a Winchester Sachem herself. We have divided loyalties here in the booth. It's unclear at this time how that's all going to play out.
Well, I can tell you what she's up here for as I open my wallet and hand cash over. That's just the way it goes when you're a father of a teenager. And yeah, the cat's out of the bag. I'm a Winchester resident, and my daughter goes to Winchester High, so she liked what she saw right there in the first half. Right, Bianca? Big Winchester touchdown. There we go. But she didn't
Bianca,
like
we're going to have to get Bianca on the mic here before the game is over and hear her thoughts on the ball game.
So
I don't know. She has her $5. She's good.
She is good to go. All right. Thanks a lot, Bianca. And so over the right-hand side, trying to get going is Joey Pazia. And the Sachems are there to say no dice. And the Spy Ponders pick up kind of where they left off, partner, and a little bit of struggle to get that running game going.
Yeah, that wasn't a good first down, and we'll see if they start putting pressure on Bowler to throw the ball early and often. While we were away bantering with Bianca, though, they got good field position for this drive, and we'll see what they can do with it.
A big return there by Gustavo Sajian, the linebacker, who returned very well. And now Bowler zigs, can't zag and zoom, falls over the 50 to the 48, and Bowler shows that he's not the only guy that can put his shoulder down.
Yeah, Bowler did that time. I like what Coach Gendron did there, going to the ground again on second down. They really kind of can't give up early on the running game. They're not going to, and now they have a very manageable 3rd and 4.
And Bowler kind of shows right there, hey, maybe the traditional runs are going to be able to be defensive a little bit, but once Bowler shows he can run, now that mesh point is a little more confusing for the defense. So 3rd and 3 here, probably 4 down territory for the Spy Ponders, even though the professor probably wouldn't agree. So Bowler, a little pitch and a little catch that time. It's complete to Peter Roach, close to a first down. And Rob, we saw last week that Bowler was outstanding anytime he threw that ball on the line.
Absolutely, and he has a lot of confidence in Peter Roach. And 3rd and 4, that was a Patriot-like play there, that little drag play over the middle. And that isolates Peter Roach on a linebacker, and you like that matchup anytime you can get it if you're the Spy Ponders.
So 1st and 10, that moves the sticks. And here goes Joey Pazia, zigs and can't zag and zoom. A nice little tackle that time by Toby Deegan, and certainly the Sachems are focused on Pazia early.
They got good penetration that time to the weak side. They got about 3 or 4 hats in the offensive backfield. Whether these runs are successful or not, and I'm going to harp on that theme. Even if they're unsuccessful, they will kind of set up the play action pass.
Well, certainly the play action. That's a great point, Rob. I saw those linebackers the moment Pazia opened his hands to receive the ball, they were flying up. So that's going to be there later in the game. Now Bowler's flush out of the pocket. This is where he struggled last week. Throws against his body, intended for Leo Maniti. And Rob, that's a tough throw for a quarterback.
Tough throw against his body, as you say, to the middle of the field. again, credit the Sachems though with good defense. They were in a kind of a soft zone, and they had the right defensive call for what the Ponders threw at them.
I'm sensing a little bit so far that both coaches really know what the other one wants to do, and it's almost a little bit of a guessing game with stunts and defenses. You saw the Spy Ponders put 10 or 11 in the box intended for McGivelry, and at 4th and 12, the Spy Ponders will punt it away.
Yeah, 4th and 12 is not four down territory. I think that would be a very aggressive call indeed. Not the first possession the Spy Ponders were looking for. We'll see if they can get something done on defense.
That's why that first down play especially kind of hurts, because I think if you're in anything of the 4th and 7 or 6, I think you're going for it here. And, I'm not really sure how much you can really gain here unless you got a punt that can pin them deep. If it's at the 20, you're looking at 20, 21 yards. Not really sure what you gain by that, but 4th and 12 is kind of no man's land as well. So he pops it up, and it's a nice kick, takes a Spy Ponder bounce, and that's just what they needed. So I'm looking like a little bit of a dope up here for suggesting they don't punt it, because the punt drops at the 12, and that's where the Sachems will take over 1st and 10, leading 6-2 with 3:05 left in the first quarter.
Beautiful night out here on Pierce Field for football. We have 66 degrees and kind of no wind. Nice crowd. Once again, the Spy Ponder faithful are coming out to support the team. Good to see.
It's a wonderful atmosphere. We mentioned that the program that's being built here by Coach Gendron, it's very fan-friendly. It's very community-friendly. We saw them last week, and you saw them on ACMi, the town day. We saw the players coming out on town day, even after a loss last week, which I thought set a tremendous example of fulfilling your responsibilities and having fun in the community. So 1st and 10, Florentino will keep it again. He's got a lot of room, stumbles and mumbles out to the 23, and that mesh point right there is kind of proving a little bit elusive for the Spy Ponders.
Yeah, that time the Spy Ponders completely bought the fake, and Fiorentino had wide open room to run. Luis Nieves made a very nice tackle on the open field. Good wrap on Fiorentino, who is a load. And you need to see that you need to see that kind of run support out of your DBs against that play.
Well, Fiorentino does not seem to be fleet of foot, at least with side-to-side movement, but once he gets going, he's got momentum. He's kind of like a truck. So now this time he does hand it off, and it is Gibbons. Gibbons over the A-gap for another big gain, and Winchester kind of came in as a team that likes to sling it around, but certainly they're getting some success on the ground.
No question. What are they going to do next? Nobody knows, and that's a key. I wouldn't be surprised to see them swing something far out to the right side just to keep the Arlington defense stretched out.
So they go empty here on 2nd and 4. Again, when you see that pause there, they're not huddling up, but the plays are being motioned in from the sideline, and that's where all the players get the play. So it's not really a no-huddle offense, as Fiorentino puts his head down and stumbles and bumbles and mumbles for an acceptable 2-yard gain. And Rob, what do you think of this type of getting the plays in by signaling on the sideline?
Well, this early in the season, it can be, there can be mistakes, but it looks like the Sachems are executing and doing what they want to do. So, I think it's fine. I like it.
So 3rd and 1, and they bunch the receivers tight and in to the top of your screen. It's a big play here. Clock rolls coming up on 45 seconds left in the first quarter. The Spy Ponders stunt. They stunt the wrong way. And there goes Gibbons. One man to beat at the 10-5 and into the end zone. A big move by Gibbons.
Wow, Gibbons is fast, isn't he? It was 3rd and 1, and the punters were all bunched up, and they were slanting in. So Gibbons got the edge, and he looked like he's a fine athlete for the 100-yard dash, because he just zoomed into the end zone. I'm not sure a punter got a hand on it.
I'm not sure if they did either. It was a very unfortunate for defensive coordinator Coach Curley for the Spy Ponders. He had a slant on. That means the whole defensive line was going to the left, and that made the outside contain be the inside linebacker who tried to get there, but the Sachems were able to down block him enough to get Gibbons on the outside. And you hit the nail on the head, Rob. He turned the Jets on, and that was that. So they'll go for 2 here with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. And this time they give it to Curran, who just kind of tiptoes into the end zone. And with 30 seconds left in the first quarter, the Winchester Sachems lead 14-2. And Rob, the Sachems have had one hiccup early, but they've looked impressive.
The Sachems are very impressive. You can see what the fuss is all about, and how and why exactly they come into this game 2-0. And if you're the Ponders, you got to be a little bit stunned right now. The Sachems are not only hungry but skilled, and Ponders have to regroup.
They are, and Rob, we talked in the open. You mentioned about, do the Spy Ponders know it? Do they know that this is a game that I know the Winchester Sachems see as kind of a turning of the tide, or they're going to try to get what Arlington has? And could that be what we're seeing here? Maybe the Spy Ponders are not quite aware of how meaningful this game is, or maybe should be for them.
Well, I mean, honestly, the last few years, certainly since I've been calling the games with you, Scott, for maybe 5 years, the Sachems is a game you can circle as a win coming into the game, and this you can't circle nothing at this point.
Oh, big hit there by Russo. Russo came in and just ripped somebody to the ground for the Sachems, and I'll tell you, they mean business. I hope Arlington, the players, those of you watching tonight, understand what this means to Winchester. They see this game as a changing of the guard type game, and if the Spy Ponders don't understand the meaning in that and the meaning behind that, this could be a long game, but a long time to go. 14-2, 24 seconds left. 1st and 10, ball on the 24. Little motion. Bowler, a run pass option, throws, and it's incomplete. Leo Maniti couldn't hang on, and Spy Ponders can't get much done on 1st down, which is really kind of the opposite of how it's going for Winchester.
Stephen McGilvray out on the outside was running a deep route, and when Bowler threw the ball underneath, the safety sucked up really fast. Let's see if somebody on the Spy Ponders, kind of spied that, and they go to that route later on in the game.
2nd and 10. More motion. This time they hand it to Swift. He zigs and zags and zooms up to Peter Roach, zigs and zags and zooms. And we saw Roach with a big return last week. We've seen him as kind of Bowler's security blanket. This is a senior. We're watching a senior captain right here.
Peter Roach is a good athlete. He can throw the ball. The Ponders looking for a way to get a running game going, if even unconventionally bringing Roach in from receiver, but he showed some nice feet and nice skills on that play.
And we know that Coach Gendron is not afraid to open up the offense, not afraid to get other new players involved, not afraid to pivot from something that's not quite working to something that's going to work. It's kind of the hallmark of a Coach Gendron offense. And Max, as we go to our second quarter, the Spy Ponders down 14-2, what do you see out there that maybe the Spy Ponders can build on a little bit in this second quarter?
Well, I think there's definitely guys getting open on passes. There's open receivers down the field. they can just get the ball to him. That sweep honestly worked pretty well. He was one man away from breaking one to the end zone. So if they can just get a couple breaks here, they could definitely get this game close.
I think Max touched on something that I also touched on, sort of kind of piggyback from Max. I think first down is kind of the key for the Spy Ponders. When they can get something on first down, that kind of opens their offense up. Second down, that's why you saw maybe a little motion there, Rob. They're kind of getting creative, but they really need that first down to kind of get some things going.
Yeah, you'd rather have 2nd and 5 than 3rd and 5.
We said all along that on Friday nights, these 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12s, that's death for these teams. It's a drive killer, and whereas we're used to seeing Saturdays and Sundays, these teams slinging around, and the Spy Ponders can definitely sling it around. These teams, 3rd and 8, it's just hard for them.
Harder at the high school level, certainly than the college level and the pro level. No question about it.
So I'm not sure if there was a timeout there. Max, did you see anyone call timeout?
Yeah, the Spy Ponders called timeout.
Okay, so that's their second use this half. See if we can keep tabs of that. So this brings out a big 3rd and 3. The Spy Ponders need a first down. They roll Bowler out.
Oh!
And it's picked off by Christian Morris. And kind of the defense kind of rolled right to it there, Rob, and Morris was Johnny on the spot.
Absolutely, and that time Tommy Denyon for the Sachems, a 6 foot, 200-pound linebacker, put pressure on Bowler. I'm not sure Bowler could see over him. He had his hands up and he was chasing Bowler down, and that was Bowler trying to make something happen, but it just didn't happen.
It didn't happen, and the Spy Ponders again at 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, in somewhat of a predictable situation. What do we have here? Do we have a flag here? So I think, wow, Rob, I didn't even shows what we're paying attention to. So I think that the Sachems will keep the football. Possible, looks like a block in the back happened. So they'll take the ball 1st and 10 from the 39. Even with the penalty, though, that's a huge turnover.
It was a block in the back.
Was that unsportsmanlike, that call, or just a block in the back?
I think that's a reset of the clock call there. And now here the Spy Ponders finally say no more of the rushing as Curran gets wrapped up by a host of angry Spy Ponders. And finally the Spy Ponders say enough is enough.
That's exactly what the Spy Ponders need, is to have a single man beat his man and make a play one-on-one. It means everybody else can stay in their lanes and do their job.
So 2nd and 12 after a positive play for the Spy Ponder defense. And Florentino going to look to air it out. Little lollipop pass. He's got a man down there. It's intended for Martin. That time covered by Swift, and we get a flag on the play, and my partner is indicating holding with some nice mechanics in the booth, and that'll march him back. So it'll be 2nd in California for Winchester, and the Spy Ponders are putting their foot down right at the right time, Rob. I mean, I'm not sure how much more they can give.
Whoever runs the sound system here on Pierce Field gets an attaboy from me doing the gong sound as Stripes marches off the 10-yard penalty. Kind of ominous music.
Methodical Stripes.
for methodical Stripes.
2nd and 20 for Florentino. Trips to the bottom of your screen. The pass rush and pitch and a catch. A nice little pitch and catch with Ramanga, and Ramanga is kind of emerging as Florentino's main guy.
I like what the Sachems did there. They're not trying to hit a 5-run home run. They have second 22. Let's take an 11-yard bite, and we'll try to make another 11-yard bite.
And, Professor, we talked last week about you see coaches get into a rhythm, and certainly we've seen Coach Dembowski get into a rhythm here early. 3rd and 12. A little bit of motion.
Uh-oh.
Tino flushed out of the pocket. He's under pressure and finally brought down. He's wrapped up by Joey Pazia, the birthday boy with a birthday sack. And the Spy Ponders force a 3-and-out.
Here we go, Spy Ponders with a great defensive stand there. I think the defense has backed up the Sachems on 3 of their 4 plays that time. That is exactly what they need.
So another penalty against the Sachems that time. It's an illegal procedure, and the Spy Ponders will decline it. So that'll bring up 4th down, and Sachems will have to punt as Peter Roach goes back to return. We saw Peter Roach return a kickoff for a touchdown last week, and he'll try to get something going for the Spy Ponders. As Gibbons will do the punting for the Sachems. Clock rolls, coming up on 8:35 left in the first half. Spy Ponders down 14-2. Little end-over-end punt. It's going to be just what the Sachems ordered, and a couple of decent punts by both clubs. That's down by Welch, and the Spy Ponders will take over 1st and 10 from their 12. And Rob, you got to think they need a little something on 1st down here.
Yeah, absolutely, Scott. They need to put a drive together. Really haven't found anything that's going to work quite yet. And I wouldn't be surprised. I know you like this play, but little screen play. You don't typically see that down in your own end of the field like this, but that's I can see you licking your chops over the thought of that.
I love a little screen. 1st and 10 for the Spy Ponders. Let's see if the professor is prophetic.
Oh, I'm sure not.
Whoa, but he puts the ball on the ground, the little mesh point right there. And, Professor, we talked to Coach Gendron earlier in the year, and he says this is a true RPO. He says that Bowler has the option there of handing off or pulling it out, and we saw right there the dangers of that.
It's a tough play at the high school level. That's a lot of a quarterback, and there's a true option, and then there's a run pass option. And if you're running a run pass option, you're asking the quarterback to be reading the cornerback as well as trying to decide what to do with the football, and that's a big ask.
Big ask. So 2nd and 10, Bowler steps in and it completes a nice little touch pass to his man Peter Roach. And if the doctor had anything to prescribe for the Spy Ponders, a nice little pitch and catch and a 1st down was just what they needed.
What a great throw by Bowler, moving to his left and throwing it hard deep into the seam to Roach. And he had Roach on his mind that whole time, and Roach ran a really nice route and made a tough grab too just prior to contact.
Roach has come to play tonight, that's for sure. Clock rolls, 1st and 10 for the Spy Ponders at the 36, and this time the handoff is clean to Joey Pazia, who gets the outside, and there goes Pazia, turns the Jets on, rumbles, stumbles, and bumbles, and finally steps out of bounds at the 32. Joey Pazia, bing, bang, boom.
Wow, Joey Pazia with a 35-yard run. He's showing some speed also. He's telling the Sachems and Mr. Gibbons, you're not the only running back on the field here with some jets, and that time it was his ability to be tough inside and then cut it back outside that made the play.
Big play by Pazia sets up a 1st and 10 for the Spy Ponders at the 31. That play to Roach kind of loosened the skids a little bit, and now Roach will try again. zigs and zags and zooms, and his patience pays off as Roach falls over the 30 to the 28. And I tell you, this Roach is a gamer.
Roach is absolutely a gamer, and we talked about a little bit in pregame. Tyler Callahan is in civilian clothes tonight, and that next man up is the mantra that you hear in sports. That is Callahan's absence is putting some pressure on Roach to make more plays, and so far Roach has responded.
Roach has responded. We saw Joey Pazia respond a minute ago. Here's your play action. That should have to be wide open. And there's Roach. Holds the ball. Do they give it to him? No. They'll down him at the 1. But the little pump, the little fake drew the linebackers up wide open.
28-yard play that time. And once again, great job by Bowler spying the open guy. And the Ponders showing some versatility themselves on offense.
The whole package there. That Pazia run, the first Roach pass really greased the skids. Here's Pazia on the left-hand side. Bangs, and booms into the end zone. Joey Pazia.
2-yard run from Pazia, and he showed a second effort. He was hit right at the goal line, and he was sent back a little bit, but he kept his feet moving and jumped right over the pile. Joey Pazia with some effort, and the Ponders just what they needed.
Just what they needed. They cut it to 14-8. Let's see if they go for 2. It looks like they're going to go for 1, and Swift is going to try to boot it through. They will. 5:49 left in the first half. Spy Ponders get a breath of life on a Peter Roach from Adam Bowler completion. A Joey Pazia run. The kick is up, and the kick is no good. And with 5:49, Spy Ponders lead 14-8. And Rob, we saw the momentum turn kind of there with the little touch pass from Bowler. Then we have Pazia with a big run. Roach is involved again. Back to Pazia. This is kind of what the Spy Ponders are all about.
Yeah, the Spy Ponders have some big play capability, and they showed it on that drive. 3 big plays, and then capped off with a good old-fashioned 2-yard in a cloud of dust rumble into pay dirt by Pazia.
A big run, but it was the back-to-back plays, partner. I think that were key. We had the Roach from the little touch pass to Roach, and then Pazia comes forward to say, yeah, I'm involved too. That's going to kind of ground everyone on defense. Now they can't really guess. Now they're kind of saying to themselves, we're not sure what's going to happen.
It was, 3 straight plays over 25 yards, and that's some dynamic offense right there.
Dynamic, spectacular, and sensational. And Welch will return deep, but it's kicked up to Gibbons, who stumbles and fumbles and mumbles, brought down by Stratus Awad, and the Sachems will take over first attempt from the 40, and back and forth we go.
I think this is a big defensive series for the Spy Ponders. Spy Ponders, gave up some yards and some points early, and the Sachems had kind of an easy time of it. Last drive, the Spy Ponders stiffened. They came back and did their job on offense and scored. If they can stiffen again here, we have a ball game.
Florentino has been the guy that's kind of gotten the momentum going for the Sachems early in drives with kind of untouched runs. This time he hands it off, and this time the Spy Ponders are there to meet the challenge. A nice little wrap-up by McGivelry, and we see those corners really sneaking up, Rob.
Absolutely. And McGivelry is a very good defensive player. I mean, impressed by the way he reads the offense, reads the play, moves to it, and makes a good fundamental tackle.
So he did actually fall forward, a nice little run there, or slither, if you will, by Curran. Actually, that was Gibbons. And they go back to Gibbons. Flag on the play. Could be a legal procedure. A big hit as Gibbons falls over the 50 to the 49. That time, big number 77, Will Meyer, was in on that tackle. But, yeah, it's coming back, isn't it, partner?
That's coming back. I think it is a procedure. Ponders like that. Yeah, you called it, Scott. So this will be second down and 12, and Ponders like that down and distance.
And when they say illegal procedure, it means somebody, usually what it means is somebody who was supposed to be off the line was not, was on the line, or vice versa. Often that's a lot of times, Rob, what you'll see in this kind of spread offense if they do make a mistake.
They were trying to pull everybody to the left-hand side for that run. They got a little bit too eager.
And Stripes marches off, methodical Stripes there. Ooh, little heavy set Stripes, hasn't missed a meal this Stripes. 2nd and 12 for the Sachems as Fiorentino gets the marching orders from the sidelines and gives them to his troops. Clock rolls, coming up on 4:19 on a little pitch and a little catch that time. And there goes Patrick Ross over the 40 to about the 35, and a little pitch and catch turned into a big play.
Exactly, Scott. I think that was, I couldn't quite tell whether that was a jailbreak screen to Ross out there. A jailbreak is where all the receivers go downfield to block, and the linemen trying to get out in front of the play. But it was certainly a little quick hitting screen. And once again, the Sachems showing kind of offensive versatility that's keeping the Spy Ponders on their toes.
And that was such a spectacular play there by Ross. The scoreboard lost its power. All the power went to Ross on that play, and the scoreboard lost its. So that's what the delay is here, as Stripes lets you know that they're going to run the clock from the field. That's a little-known fact in high school football. The clock is not run by the scoreboard or up here in the booth. It's run on the field by the head official, the one you see stepping on your picture to the left. So 1st and 10 for the Sachems at the 34. This is a little RPO, a shovel pass, and that's a nice little play. And there goes Tommy Deegan into the end zone, rumbling, and the Sachems strike back.
36-yard pass play to Deegan that time, and it was kind of a fake RPO and shovel inside. And I got to say, quarterback Fiorentino did a fantastic job selling that. I bought it, you bought it, the Spy Ponders bought it.
And anyone that saw Thursday Night Football last night, the first touchdown by the Jets was that exact same play. Dial it up on YouTube or whatever last night, and you'll see it. Kind of funny stuff. Anyway, so that's going to make it 20-8. The kick is up, and the kick is good by Fiorentino. And with 3:57, back and forth we go. Sachems lead 21-8.
If you're the Spy Ponders, you're a little bit disappointed right now. You're hoping for a big defensive stop, and after the penalty, it looked like they might actually get it. But that was a brilliant call that time by the Sachems. The shovel pass, not something that we've seen a lot here on Pierce Field. Ponders weren't ready for it. And the other thing about the shovel pass is it goes up the gut, and the Spy Ponders were looking to pursue the RPO, and once the defender, the offensive player, Dean, made it into the second level, there was really nobody to get him.
And, with the other thing with that kind of a shovel pass, well, people don't really realize it's not really a high-risk play. It looks it because it's a pitch, but it's an incomplete pass if it hits the ground, so very little risk there and lots of high reward. It's a well-conceived play. You saw the Jets run it last night to perfection. You saw perfection right there, and a lot of yeoman's work done by Deegan after he got the football. He was hard to bring down. So it's a little squibber and taken by an up back, and that is Luis Nieves, the 5'8", 140-pound Gionia. And Nieves with a nice return for the Spy Ponders. So the Spy Ponders have had good field position, and they'll get the ball at the 48.
with 3:32 in the ball game, that's plenty of time for them, you would think, and it also gives them the advantage that if they can go down and score, that'll leave little or no time for the Sachems to respond.
And we don't mind if this game takes all night because at the, what did we say, it was 62, partner?
67 degrees.
67, outstanding. 1st and 10 for your Spy Ponders. Boy, a little fake and a nice catch that time. And going free is Maniti. And he went up, pulled the ball down, but the Sachems was saying they have it. Maniti lost his helmet. Stripes agrees. And partner, what happened there?
Looks like the Sachems just ripped the ball out of Maniti's hands. And Maniti's upset about it, but I think he has nothing to say about it. There was a struggle for the ball. It looked like he caught the ball and maybe never really had it all that cleanly. The defender was right there.
Outstanding play initially by Maniti to go and get the ball. He pulled it down hard, but couldn't control it all the way. And by the time the dust settled and he was brought to the turf, he didn't have the football. The Sachems did, and they'll take over 1st and 10, up 21-8. And this is danger time for the Spy Ponders. They can't give up any more points in the first half. So over the left-hand side, going absolutely nowhere, is Gibbons, wrapped up by a host of Arlington defenders, led by Tim Mazzi and helped by Michael Pasidris. And clock rolls, and we'll see if the Sachems go quick. Second and 8. I'll tell you one thing that's happened this game is that the Spy Ponders have initially tackled Winchester defenders in loss of yardage, and they've slithered free for a couple of yards, and it's been a big difference tonight. So zigging and zagging and zooming is Gibbons over the 40 to the 45, finally brought down by Roach, but Gibbons is showing his mettle.
Sachem's fighting hard here, and they're a little bit in hurry-up mode. Nobody told them to play it safe here. They're going to try to put some more points on the board.
They are, and to be honest with you, I think the Spy Ponders would love nothing more than this clock just to run out. This has been kind of a nightmare of a first half. They've had some success, but they've had trouble bringing the Sachems to the turf. So 1st and 10, here's Gibbons again. He's feeling it, and he rumbles over the 50 to the 49. Will Meyer brought him down, but Will Meyer was more the nail instead of the hammer, and Gibbons is running strong. They're going to huddle now. I'm not sure who called a timeout here. I would tend to think it was Winchester, as they've got a 2nd and manageable. But if you're Winchester here, if you call a timeout, partner, you run the risk. If you lose yardage here, then the Spy Ponders call a timeout. As much as the Spy Ponders don't want to give up points at the half, I can tell you it would be devastating if Winchester did, for the way they've played. To not go in with momentum would be killer. Trips to the bottom of your screen on 2nd and 3. This time it's Kern in the backfield with Forentino. See if they give it to Kern. They don't. He's going to throw the ball. Wow. Look at this, and he's going deep. He's got a man down there. It's in and out of the hands of Christian Morris. Broken up there by Nieves.
Heads up play by Nieves. That hit the receiver in the hand, and it looked like he might make a kind of a secondary catch. The ball bounced up and came near his arm, but Nieves was right there to rip down his hands and save that one. That was a dangerous play for the Spy Ponders.
Offensive coordinator Tom Carr for the Sachems is putting the pedal to the metal here, folks. And this is impressive. He's not playing conservative. That was a pass that says, I'm not scared to do anything tonight. I'm here to win this football game. So a little bit of motion. They should go to the ground now. They do. This time it's Curran over the left-hand side. He's got the first down and more. Brought down by Roach. And a timeout will be taken by Winchester. Sachems, they have 2 left, I believe. And Rob, the Sachems, they're not stopping for anything. They're not going to play conservative.
Ball's at the 40-yard line with a minute 24. Clock is rolling here.
I'm not sure why the clock is rolling. They called a timeout. Players, quarterbacks are over getting the instructions. So I think there's a little more than a minute 15. But Rob, you were saying?
Yeah, minute 24. So they'd like to be able to run. Yeah, I don't know if they have to 5 or 6 more plays anyway. And with a little bit more time on the field, adds a little bit of uncertainty to what they can do. They don't have to score quickly, so they can run the ball, they can throw the short pass, gives them a few more options to call the timeout and have a little bit more clock.
And I think that deep pass that Fiorentino threw that was incomplete. It was intended for Morris. I think that kind of set the tone here. Hey, we're going to do anything here. This playbook's wide open. We could run it. We could throw it. We might throw it deep. We might throw it short. Fiorentino could carry it. Curran could carry it. They could throw it to Morris. They could throw it to Welch. This is
they
impressive.
got a lot of weapons, a lot of versatility.
1st and 10. Clock resets to 1:27. Little play action pass, pump fake. Now he throws on a line. Whoa, had a man. It was intended for Kraft, and even now Kraft is getting into the action.
Nice play call that time by the Sachems doing the pump pass short. The Ponders didn't bite though, and the safety. Who was the safety on the play? Who was pursuing? The Spy Ponders safety sniffed out the play. That might have even been Swift.
Yeah.
Good heads up play by him, and got over to the play.
So 2nd and 10. 1:21 left in the half. 21-8. Sachems. There's Fiorentino, low snap, little screen pass, and with room to run is Kraft, and Kraft gets close to a first down. He does. They'll move the sticks, and that the little short pass. Now they go long and they go short. It's the whole package.
Yeah, there's the screen that you like, and it wasn't like the Spy Ponders were forcing them into that screen. They did it in a very, very, very calculated way. They still have a minute left, and would they have they probably will get the first down on that play.
They got the first down. They called a timeout, and so as we take a break here, we're going to say goodbye to the professor as he's going to head down to join Max on the sidelines. And Max, so with 1:11 here, it's really anything and everything from this Winchester Sachem group.
Yeah, it's tough to say what they're going to do. On offense, they have a lot of options they could go to. They've seen that deep pass. They've gotten guys open on it. They just haven't hit their target. They can go to that. They can always go to that screen pass they just had that worked pretty well, and they could just run it up the gut. I mean, they have a minute 11 seconds. They're on about the 35. They could really go to anything right here.
They sure could. It's been a potpourri of offense from the Sachems. 1st and 10 from just over the 30. 1:11 left in the half. Sachems have 2 timeouts left. There's Fiorentino, little pitch and a little catch that time. And being able to step out of bounds is Morris, and Max, a little pitch and a catch is kind of the whole package, isn't it?
Yeah, they've marched downfield kind of on this drive with just that pitch and catch, a little bit of yardage here, a little bit of yardage there, and they've gotten those first downs, and they've not even used that much of the clock, really. They've conserved time, too, getting out of bounds, calling to their timeouts. They still have another 2 they could use. So they've been pretty good clock management, I'd say.
Tremendous clock management. They could do anything still. They could run the ball here. 1st and 10. Ball is at the 16. Here's Fiorentino, a little pitch, and that time it's defended well by Sam Swift, who got his hand in there. And Max, you gotta, if you're a defense here, this is kind of a gut check time. Spy Ponders got to tighten up, do what they can, really kind of step up here.
Yeah, they've got to shut down. That was a great play there by Swift to knock that ball away and just get that clock. It got clock stopped, so that's a little but it's a great play by him. And they just keep those plays up, keep the coverage tight, and lock down the middle from the run. They should be able to stop them here.
So it's 2nd and 10 from the 16.
Oh.
Little motion up front. I don't see it. There's the flag finally. This could be a free play. As it looked to me like the Spy Ponders jumped off sides. If it was false start, you would have seen the flag thrown, or the play would have been dead. That was intended for Kraft, right through his hands, and the Spy Ponders are lucky that it was just a 5-yard penalty there, because that was right in Kraft's hands. And Max, I'll tell you, this Fiorentino's a dynamite quarterback.
Yeah, he's great. He's put a lot of throws on the money. They just have to be caught by his receivers. He's had guys just on that last play open the end zone, open down the sidelines. They get the ball in their hands, it could be dangerous for the Spy Ponders.
So 2nd and 5 now, 51 seconds left. Playbook still wide open with 2 timeouts for Winchester. And a little pitch and a little catch, and going into the end zone is Christian Morris, the 6'1 senior. Holy cow, the Sachems pour it on.
Yes. That was that screen pass again. I mean, that went to the inside screen last time, the outside screen this time. It seems to be working for them. It's
been the whole offense for the Sachems. It's been difficult to predict what they're going to do. The Spy Ponder defense seems to be a little bit off balance, and that early success for the Sachems as Fiorentino tries the extra point, which is up and it's good. The early success running the ball by Fiorentino really kind of set the tone of, we're not really sure what we're going to do until we're going to do it. That set the tone. The Spy Ponders really couldn't predict what they're going to do, and from there it just kind of blossomed outwards and upwards. And with 42.9, Winchester takes a 28-8 lead. And Max, you got 42 seconds left. You're the Spy Ponders here. We saw Roach return one for a touchdown. That would be a spark they would sorely need.
That would be great for the Spy Ponders going to halftime with that. Hopefully, I see if they do that kind of pooch kick again, they get up to the 50, they could try for a couple passes towards the end zone, or just try to march it downfield. 42 seconds, that's enough time. If it goes deep, they just might want to run out the clock ahead in the halftime and regroup, especially on defense.
Well, the Spy Ponders do have 3 timeouts, so theoretically, if they got the ball in good field position, they could run the ball and see what happens from there. Let it go out of bounds, but he couldn't. It was actually a tremendous pooch kick, forcing Manini to fall on it. So the 32, we'll have to see what Coach Gendron has in mind here as he talks over strategy with Adam Bowler. 40 seconds left, 3 timeouts. They certainly could try running it, although one could say they've suffered enough damage here. The last thing they want to do is make a mistake and make this more of a deficit than the 2+ scores that it already is. So with 40 seconds left, Bowler makes sure that he's got the correct football. The team that has the ball chooses the football. 1st and 10. See what Bowler's going to do here. Pazia, the deep back. I would assume they're just going to see if they can get a big gain from Pazia and go from there. Make the decision off of what happens there. Oh, they're going to throw it. They're going to throw it. Oh, it's a little draw by Bowler. A nice tackle there by Deegan. And a timeout will be taken by the Spy Ponders. They have 2 left. And so, Max, certainly the Spy Ponders, they look like a little draw there. You think they come back to maybe another draw, maybe another run, maybe a screen pass? Do they let Bowler throw the ball here?
I guess they're planning on letting Bowler throw the ball, right? They called that timeout there. Looks like Bowler it looked like a run pass option to me. It looks like Bowler decided to take it himself, but it looks like they are looking downfield to try to throw the ball and get something before halftime, which is probably a good idea.
Well, if nothing else, maybe get a little bit of momentum going into the second half. They've had success on offense, but not that consistent success, that multiple score success that we kind of see Winchester have in the first half. So I guess anything at this point, you're saying 28-8. We how much worse can it get? Let's get a little something coming in our favor. They get the ball to start the second half, so maybe something to build off of from then, from there. So 31 seconds left. Winchester leads 28-8. Power pistol. Joey Pazia, the deep back. Bowler will throw it. Steps into a throw. It's behind Maniti, who can't catch it. And Max, we saw Bowler really have a lot of success stepping into throws last week. This week, he struggled a little bit, can't really find his rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, he's hit a couple of good passes, but a lot of them have been a little bit behind or above the receiver. I think they're getting a little bit of pressure on him this week. The Winchester line on both sides of the ball has been pretty impressive. I think they're getting a little pressure. It's tough to throw when you're under pressure.
Very tough. That's a great point, Max. Last week they really didn't get a whole lot of pressure on him. He was able to really take his time, and maybe that pressure is taking its toll. We see it again here, but he slips out of it, and there he goes over the 50 with a little jitterbug and taken down by Henry Kraft. And Max, that's an interesting play right there. He's a runner, but you also can't use your whole body to slam someone to the turf, and kind of looked like what Kraft did there. Are you a little confused as I am?
Honestly, I've seen a couple of tackles tonight. Even that strip play where they stripped the ball from the receiver that was running number 11. It's almost like the refs are letting these plays go on too. They need to blow the whistle sooner. When the floor practice is stopped, you're supposed to blow the whistle. They're letting these players get slammed, possibly get injured. It's pretty risky.
Yeah, I agree with you, Max. Maybe that's what I'm looking for, the quicker whistle. And you make a great point, Max. That whistle doesn't come. This player is taught to bring the player to the ground any way that he can and drive him into the ground if he can. If you hear the whistle, he knows to let up, and if the play is over. Certainly the Sachems are dialed in. They're ready to go. They're tackling with vigor, with purpose, and we saw it right there on that play. So 1st and 10, 14 seconds left. That's unofficial on the scoreboard clock. Spy Ponders have one timeout, I believe. Bowler, a little pitch and a little catch that time. And Stephen McGivelry gets a first down. The clock will stop with 8.3 seconds left. And the Spy Ponders will take their final timeout. And so now, Max, they get a shot here at the 17-yard, at the 13-yard line. They can take a couple shots into the end zone with 8 seconds left.
Yeah, for sure. You've got to try to get that touchdown. A field goal, it's going to be risky. They missed a PAT earlier, so you got to try to get into the end zone right here. Great momentum builder into halftime, and it'll get this game a little bit into a more reasonable score and put them right back in it. Just going to make some halftime adjustments on defense and score a couple more points, just like they did. They scored the same amount of points in the second half. If they scored a touchdown, they scored in the first half, then they would win the game. That's all you have to do.
Good way to look at it, good positive way to look at it from Max, and I was mistaken. I was a little bit enthusiastic about where the ball was. It's actually at the 26, but certainly Bowler can throw a pass on a line 26 yards. So the playbook wide open here, Max. They can go, they can empty the set. They could run a screen, anything for the Spy Ponders.
We'll have to see. I mean, I'm liking the screen here. Joey Pazia, I'm liking that. That's a good play. They haven't really run any screens tonight. they have a really aggressive pass rush, so we'll see what happens.
So Maniti is in the slot. It's a 1st and 10, 8 seconds left. This Bowley's got time. Now he's flushed out. Little pitch and a little catch that time with McGivelry. And so a couple of completions to McGivelry, and that'll be a 1st down. 1.9 seconds left, and it'll be one chance in the end zone for the Spy Ponders here. Playbook wide open as Bowler gets the instructions from Coach Gendron. And certainly Max was right. The momentum now, the Spy Ponders have a little something they can build on in the second half, even if they don't get a score here at 28-8. So 1st and 10, but that's not really the issue. The issue is the clock. 1.9 seconds left. That's unofficial. That's usually what the officials go with. So one play. Bowler's got time. He steps up. He can run it if he wants. Oh, a nice tackle there. A touchdown-saving tackle by Jose Nieves. And we'll see if that's the last play of the half. The officials have to signal it. And it is. And at the end of the first half, your Spy Ponders are down to the Winchester Sachems 28-8. And we're going to see if we can get a word with Coach Gendron. But before we do, a spirited first half by the Sachems. It was, from the beginning, kind of a tale of a half of a team ready to go. And the tone was set by Florentino, the Winchester quarterback.
You have to go get him. He's not going to
The producer, Jen,
Who really set the tone early. And
what can he say?
with the early runs, that really opened up their playbook. I thought they were effective with the run, with the pass, with the play calling. Spy Ponders struggled early, but kind of got their momentum both on offense and defense as the game wore on. But a big late drive by the Sachems put an exclamation point on what had been an effective first half to begin with, and kind of put an exclamation point on it. Certainly the Spy Ponders can get some momentum going by their ability to get the ball in the end zone the first half and to move the ball late. But it was a big touchdown-saving tackle there by Jose Nieves, and that's really going to set the tone as the Spy Ponders are down 28-8 as we head into the half. And Max, as we head into the half here, if you're the Spy Ponders, what are the things that maybe they can build on going into this second half?
I mean, definitely those passes down there. Even though he missed a few, Bowler was still looking sharp on the passes. He can still get the ball downfield to receivers. They're still running open. If you can just hit a couple more of those throws, they can score. At the end there, you saw on that drive towards the end, there was momentum there. You have those passes that were open, hitting those passes. Bowler looked good on the runs. Unfortunately, that last run ended the half. But if there was 20 more seconds, they would have scored a touchdown for sure. They can definitely get this on offense, and we've seen them stop them on defense. They need to tighten down on the run, and their pass game isn't as strong. Their receivers are having a tough time catching the ball. If they can just stop that running game, make them into a one-dimensional passing team, they can win this game.
Well, there you have it. So we're going to take a break here. We'll come back with the second half. My partner Rob Anthony will recap the scoring, and we'll give our thoughts. And we'll be back right after these messages.
It's so cold out there. Why don't you come inside? I'll tell you all of the things that you want to despise. Everything I say only sounds cliche.
Take it back. 2 hops this time. 2 hops this time. Right foot, 2 stomps. Left foot, 2 stomps. Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees. Hip on the hip. Oh, yeah. Come on. Cha-cha now, y'all. Turn it up.
No, we'll see it again. I thought it was good.
And welcome back for the second half. Our score at the half, Winchester 28, Arlington 8. And partner, how did we get there?
Well, Scott, the scoring opened up at 6:31 in the first quarter. Brendan Curran for the Sachems ran for 8 yards to make it 6-0. And in one of the more exciting plays on Pierce Field this season, the point after attempt was blocked, and there was a 90-yard return by Sam Swift for 2 points, made it 6-2 Sachems. Then the Sachems scored again with 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter. It was a 68-yard run by Gibbons to make it 12-2, and Curran followed up with a 2-point run to make it 14-2. In the second quarter, after 3 big plays by the Spy Ponders, 2 by Bowler to Roach, but Joey Pazia ran the ball in from 2 yards with 5:49 to make it 14-8. Point after attempt failed. Then we saw the 36-yard shovel pass from Fiorentino to Denyon at 3:38 to make it 28. PIT good 21-8, and then the 7-yard pass from Fiorentino to Morris with 37 seconds to go in the half capped off the scoring and brought us to 28-8, where we now stand.
Partner, we see the Spy Ponders will get the ball to start the second half. What did you see in their offense that you liked? What do you want to see more of? Where are the keys for the Spy Ponders?
Well, Adam Bowler right now is trying to do it all, and Adam Bowler's having a good game. I think he'd like to get a little bit more time. The Sachems are bringing pressure, and they're not letting Bowler get comfortable in the pocket. Bowler a couple times has pulled the ball down and run with it, but they're going to need to find a way to protect Adam and let him kind of get the time to get off track.
So Maniti and Rochel return as the kick is taken by an up back. That time falling on it is Maniti. He was not back. He was up. Holy cow. So the Spy Ponders take over, Rob, again with good field position.
They've had good field position tonight. That's been a bright spot for the Spy Ponders. They've capitalized on it once. Spy Ponders came out at halftime kind of roaring. Don't know exactly what happened, but I wouldn't be surprised if the coach who gave them a little bit of a wake-up call, he looked somewhat upset going off the field at halftime.
1st and 10 for the Spy Ponders. Low snap hits the ground, and Bowler has to fall on it, and that is not how they wanted to start the second half. And Rob, just to clarify, so you're saying when you said they came out for the second half roaring, are you saying from the locker, you were seeing them come out of the locker room?
They had a lot of pep in their step when they're coming out of the locker room. Teams often do, but it looked to be a little bit extra for the Spy Ponders.
Well, we talked before the game. We talked in the pregame that this is a big game for Winchester. They're trying to take what Arlington has, and I'm not really sure that Arlington was aware of that. And I'm sure Coach Jen reminded them at the half. But unfortunate first down, and it's 2nd and a mile. Here's Bowler. He's going to step up, and he drops the ball on the ground. 2 plays, the ball hits the ground both times. This time it's recovered by Charlie Ward. Ouch.
We have a flag on the play of some kind. We'll see if that's going to save the Ponders here. Doesn't look like it will.
Now holding against the Spy Ponders, obviously decline. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 30 for the Sachems, and just absolute disaster for the Spy Ponders to start the second half.
Well, once again, Bowler had to quickly pull the ball down and try to run with it, and the Sachems were kind of scraping at the ball, and they got it away from Bowler. Bowler's having to be a one-man band here tonight.
Sure is, and Max touched on it, and Professor, you just did there. Bowler's under pressure. He's under siege tonight. That's very much unlike last week where he really had a lot of time to throw. And there's another snap that hits the ground, and this time up the middle for nothing goes Curran. And in the first half, Rob, Curran and Gibbons were turning nothing into something.
Yeah, they certainly were, Scott, and it's interesting that the Sachems come out and pound the ball into the middle, and they want to get that defense as bunched up as they can so they can take advantage of some of these outside plays that work well for them in the first half.
So Curran is the deep back with Fiorentino. You step into it. Fiorentino, I'll tell you, he's got a strong arm. They could have called pass interference there. They don't. And this Fiorentino, this is the real deal. He's got a nice, strong arm, Rob.
He does have a strong arm as we see the replay. Little hitch pass there and toss it up. It looked like pretty good defense by the DB. Was that Sam Swift over on the strong side? Stuck with the receiver and didn't give him a lot of room to make a play.
So third and 10, so probably 4 down territory. I would expect a run here by the Sachems. That's just what they do, over the left-hand side, but he goes nowhere. The ball hits the turf, or maybe it did not. It was a nice run by Gibbons, but the Spy Ponders closed quick.
And you're going to like this, Scott. This is 4 down territory. They're inside the 30 at the 27. fourth and 7. See what they dial up here.
They've certainly had an open playbook for the game to date to this point, and Florentino has thrown short, long, has ran it, the whole package. Full drop back, now he's flushed out, under pressure, steps up, and finally Sandwich collapsed. A sack and a turnover on downs for the Spy Ponders. That time.
Boy, watch Tim Mezzi here. Gets penetration, and look at him, not quick. Follow the play back into the tackle, and 5 Spy Ponders. That's about 1,000 pounds of Spy Ponders collapsed on Fiorentino. Fiorentino is a big kid, but that was a load that he just had on his back.
And Mezzi's trying to change direction there, kind of like a bus. Gotta make a big wide turn. Not a zig and a zag there by Mezzi, but he got the job done. Superior effort and hustle. So big play by the Spy Ponders. 1st and 10. Here's Pazia shaking a tackle, but wrapping him up and holding on for dear life is Area Manfred. And I'll tell you, this Winchester Sachem team, they wrap up, they tackle well.
Big job tonight by the Winchester Sachem defensive line. Looked like they just kind of stood the Ponders up at the line of scrimmage there. We see on the replay, and Spy Ponders aren't getting any room to run.
They broke a cup. Pazia broke one. Swift broke one. But other than that, it's been stout defense for the Sachem. Pitch, and they say it hit the ground. And Bowler on those plays, those little pitch and catches, he had a lot of success last week. Partner, he struggled this week.
He has, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's not getting a little frustrated. We talk about rhythm earlier in the game as it pertains to coaches, but it really is true for quarterbacks. When quarterbacks find themselves under pressure, your whole orientation towards the game and how it feels and what you see and are you comfortable really kind of changes, and it's tough to turn that around.
3rd and 10. A little draw play here over the left-hand side, trying for a 1st down. A flag comes in late. Goes Pazia, maybe a horse collar, I believe. Yeah, and that would be just what the Spy Ponders need.
Yeah, it looks like, it's very definitely a horse collar. Grabbed him by the shoulder pad and threw him down. A little bit of a dangerous play and not one that they're going to tolerate.
So that's going to tack 15 yards onto the end of that. Well, what do we have here? What is Stripes calling here? We're going to hold.
Are they going to replay 3rd down? That was offsetting penalties,
offsetting penalties with the horse collar and a hold, and I didn't even see him.
They're going to mark it off the hold from the horse collar.
Well, it would be from the end of the play. Okay, so the horse collar didn't happen because it would be offsetting. So they're going to call that just a hold. They didn't call the horse collar. Right, partner? I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're just calling a hold.
So the hold
I don't know
what the moment from where the run ended. Well, from where the hold ended.
Did they call the hold on the runner's shoulder pad? Held the hand of the.
Outstanding. All right, here's Bowler. He's got time now. Now he's flushed, and nice little shoestring catch there by Pazia, but it's not going to be enough. Going to be a little 6-yard gain, and the Spy Ponders will have to punt. But that time you saw Bowler get pressured, Professor, and use his outlet.
And I think that was a design play, and Pazia did really a nice job picking that up near the turf, and it looks like Pazia is coming up limping. I noticed that just before halftime. Looks like an ankle. And is Pazia the punter here? Let's see if he can, get off a good kick.
He is definitely.
Oh no, he's not the punter.
No, he is not. Punter is the receiver. Back to receive it for Winchester's Ricky Welch, and the punt is a good one that time.
Wow!
And turns into a great one. Welch smart, wise. I thought he was going to pick that up, and he falls right on it. A tremendous punt there by, I got to get that number. Who is the punter?
Down inside the 20-yard line.
60? Partner, that's 80. So the punter is Aiden Wu-McGinty. Wu-McGinty just powered one.
That was a 55-yard play. That was one of the more productive plays for the punter of the game. Hit and bounced forward about 20 yards. Well, couldn't be returned. Flipped the field, as they say.
Sure did. So 1st and 10 for the Sachems. 6:11 left in the third. Sachems lead your Spy Ponders 28-8 on Friday Night Football. Over the left-hand side goes Gibbons, and he slithers for 4 and 5. And these running backs, while they're not particularly dynamic or sensational, Rob, they're kind of a get-the-job-done types.
Both of them are. Gibbons is fast, and Brennan Curran is strong. Kind of a, would you say, Larry Zonka and Jim Kick?
Gibbons is a super sophomore.
He's a super sophomore.
We should bring Bianca back in here to give us the skinny on Gibbons.
Bianca Zwick, your daughter who attends Winchester High School, of course.
Most certainly.
And you were saying at halftime what a big game this is for the Sachems, and Winchester. All of Winchester is very excited about this football team.
Well, as you see Gibbons pound over the right-hand side, absolutely. You know, they last week they christened the new lights on the stadium. The whole community came out. You know, football has not been a major player in Winchester athletics for a long time, but this was the most talked about football game that I have seen in at least 10 years in Winchester. It may be third game of the season, but I could feel the flavor, the enthusiasm, and it's a huge game for the town of Winchester. And right on cue, they maybe run a fumble rooski, or a little bit of tomfoolery happened there. Not really sure what, as the super sophomore tries to get the edge and can't. Clock rolls coming up on 4:25. And Rob, you know, when a program is trying to make a leap, any leap, if they're trying to leap over a team that doesn't realize they're the leapee, the team trying to get what they have, maybe a team like Winchester on a night like tonight doesn't quite know what they do have.
Very definitely, and Winchester will go into Lexington next week, and they've got to feel really, really good coming out on the road, and so far handling a pretty good Spy Ponder club.
Certainly not over by a long shot, but it would be quite a change of fortune for Winchester if this was to go the other way, as Gibbons again pounds over the right-hand side. And you wonder, as you see Gibbons getting the Yeoman's work in the second half, Rob, I mean, you got a sophomore here, and to me he looks like he's got a lot of pep in his step, and maybe they've been holding him back a little bit. Maybe this is the real deal as a super sophomore. That's the kind of thing you need to get something going.
No question.
So this is a big play here, 3rd and 4. Playbook wide open. The super sophomore stays in the backfield. And Florentino's going to throw it. A little pitch and a little catch, and slithering for a first down, and more goes Patrick Ross, and Florentino will throw to anyone, anytime, in any place.
Rob, have you noticed what they've done with the linebackers?
Tell us.
They brought 3 linebackers into the box now. They've switched their defense up. We were talking about this at halftime. They had that safety coming down for the safety position, and it was tough. It's a tough play to make for any safety to try to get that running back from all the way back there. They're getting that 6 or 7 yards. They move those 3 linebackers into the box, and they're doing much better against the run. They just have to shut down those passes, and they can get that stop on defense.
Oh, that's good stuff, Max. So 1st and 10 for the Sachems right now. Florentino stays in. They're kind of really working clock here as we come up on 3 minutes left in the first half. And there goes the super sophomore. to the end zone to break the game open for Winchester. Jimmy Gibbons all the way.
Wow, 50-yard run by Gibbons, and I'm not sure he got touched. He got acceleration in the backfield and hit the line of scrimmage, and he hit the line of scrimmage at full speed, and literally, I don't think anybody got a hand on him.
He had a second gear there. He turned the jets on and was able to outrun anyone in the secondary. This Gibbons is the real deal. We've seen a couple of dynamic players, and just like last week, and the kick is up and the kick is good by Florentino. You know, Rob, just like last week with the quarterback for the Stoneham Club, I didn't quite think he was dynamic. Just about 5 minutes ago, I said that I didn't think Florentino was dynamic. I think I was wrong on both accounts. I mean, Florentino just showed right there what type of runner he is. He's explosive, he's dynamic, he's super sensational.
And something that you're seeing here is that the Sachems have really controlled the ball on offense and controlled the clock, and the Ponders defense has been out on the field a long time tonight. And the Sachems have brought a 1-2 punch, and Gibbons, Curran and Gibbons have been sharing the load, and Gibbons looked fresh. Ponders did not, and it was only a matter of time before the Sachems broke one, and they did.
Sure did. The Spy Ponders, real good points about Max, about the linebacking change, and then Rob about the defense being out there. It's just been a tall task for the Spy Ponders, and right there after showing a little pep in their step, they give a little bit, and they're down 35-8 as Swift looks for running room, gets it, but that's one thing the Sachems have done all night long, as you see junior Michael Sirangano rip someone down, Rob. They've done the little things. They've made the tackles. They've made the blocks. They've been focused a little bit more so than the Spy Ponders did. So it'll be first down for the good guys at the 34-yard line, and Bowler will take the troops out, try to get something going here. 35-8, 2:40 left in the third quarter. Spy Ponders have shown some life, but just haven't been able to be consistent tonight. Here's Pazia, and flags come down. Ugh.
It's an area where you would expect a hold.
Down 35-8. Let's see if we see it here. Is it? I don't know. It's best I don't say anything. Holy cow. So that's first and 20. I don't know. Professor, you see a hold there?
I did not see a hold there.
It's 35-8, fellas. You know, we're going to stop the clock and march everyone the wrong way. Okay. Well, so that's something that is a pet peeve of mine, that at best I pivot forward, positive, and I will. So it'll be first and so he marches it off. It'll be first and 19 for the Spy Ponders after a good run by Pazia, apparently aided by a hold. Clock rolls, coming up on 2:20 left in the third. With pitch, and a little catch that time, and a stiff arm to boot. Goes Stephen McGivelry, and McGivelry's played well tonight.
24-yard gain that time. Bowler to McGivelry, and McGivelry, got yards after catch the hard way. Bowled forward for about 7 yards, brought two defenders with him.
And this is a scenario, partner, where if Winchester decides to sit back in a soft zone, maybe 35-8, but you could score in about a minute and a half or 2 minutes, taking 20-yard chunks of guys sitting down in the gaps and zones, and they better continue to bring that pressure, or they're going to find this game a little closer than they want, because right there we got another completion to McGivelry. This clock stops at 1:43. Here we go again. They gotta keep their foot on the gas.
I got to say, I like McGivelry as a football player. He's very physical. He plays both sides of the ball, and he's involved in a lot of plays. But for the second play in a row, he put his head down after catching the football and brought two defenders 5, 6, 7 yards.
So first and 10 And now they'll give it to zigging and zagging and zooming and taking a big hit is David Lopes, the junior, showing some spunk.
David Lopes showing speed to the outside, and he kind of goes down the fun way.
Head over tea kettle that time. So 1st and 10 for the Spy Ponders. Clock stops. Now it rolls. Coming up on 1 minute left in the third. This is what I was talking about. You get a first down here, you can score real quick as that clock stops. The chains come down, and you can be snapping it pretty quick. And a little Pietro going deep. He's
Wow.
in and out of the hands that time.
Peter Roach.
Roach.
That would have taken a circus catch by Roach. It was a little bit of a back shoulder throw, and he was able to get his kind of left elbow on the ball, but that's just about it.
If Roach had made that, that would have been the play of the year. And Bowler is starting to feel a little bit better. That one was not his most accurate throw, but before that, he getting a little momentum going, and now getting a little something going with McGivelry. Let's see if he looks to McGivelry on a 2nd and 10, 48 seconds left in the third. This time Bowler will keep it. He zigs and zags, tries to get to the outside, and he can't. A nice job of keeping the edge that time by Henry Kraft, and Kraft has played a good game for the Sachems.
We have some kind of flag on the play. Came out of the secondary.
I think it was holding again, unfortunately.
Holding.
Wow. Holy cow.
Holding. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. I thought I saw the entire Spy Ponder blocking crew chasing the play. But apparently the Stripes did not see it my way.
You can't hold on miss assignments.
Right.
If you don't block them, can't be a hold.
You don't block them, you can't hold them.
You can't hold them.
One way or the other. Yeah.
The clock will roll. Yeah, you're right, Max. We're on top of it as usual. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 20.
You know what I got to say, Scott? Ever since they played Led Zeppelin, the song about the levee breaking,
no good.
No good.
No good.
The levee has not
Levee
broken.
has not, no. Or it's broken too hard. Little PH and a little catch that time. Big hit. That's a helmet-to-helmet jobber there. And
We got a Sachem who's rolling around on the ground.
somebody hit
that.
Helmets. Max, what did you see?
That
what
was
happened?
that was a rough, and it was almost that sandwich effect. It kind of went like momentum all into him. It looks like he hurt his shoulder on that play, all into his shoulder. It was that loud crack I think you heard was the shoulder pads.
Yeah, it was a big hit. The helmets collided. I don't know if we have a replay of that, but Max, is that 16 that's down?
I can't tell from here.
That's he's pointing to his shoulder as he's getting tended to. And we never like to see players get hurt. We hope these players aren't. Rob, that's what happens. Sometimes in football, players will sit down in that little zone, and I don't know if this was friendly fire per se, but it's just collisions. I mean, that happens in football.
It happens in football, and friendly fire is actually one of the most dangerous kinds of fire because, as a defensive player, you're not focusing on your guy. You're focusing on the other guy. So you brace for the hit from the other team, and good to see the number 17 Christian Morris up and walking off under his own power, and he's gotten in the end zone tonight. He's played a good game. Yeah, that was friendly fire.
Friendly fire. It looked like Tommy Deegan got him, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter as Winchester leads 35-8 on Friday Night Football. And Rob, it seems that every time the Spy Ponders get a little something going, a fumble here or a penalty there, they just can't get any momentum going.
Yeah, that's kind of the anatomy of a 35-8 ball game. Let's see if they can turn it around in the fourth quarter.
3rd and 7 for the Spy Ponders. Bowler, he's got time. He's got time. A little pitch and a little catch that time. Sam Swift. So, excuse me, that's McGivelry again. And Rob, we've seen a little pitch and catch from McGivelry tonight.
And he fires the ball to McGivelry. He threw it into a tight window. And McGivelry is a physical receiver and can catch the ball in traffic.
So it's going to be first and goal. Ball is at exactly the 10. So you break the plane, and it's a touchdown. So no way to get a first down for the Spy Ponders. Bowler and Pazia conferring. Bowler's got time. Little pitch and a little catch. Here's Pazia. Goes out of bounds at about the 3. And Bowler's really sensing that pressure now, partner, and getting rid of the ball.
And they're running plays that kind of anticipate the pressure. They've had some those little swing play to the right-hand side. They've been running timing plays to the sideline. The sound system operator is getting in the game, playing Dream On, Aerosmith Dream On over and over again.
Arlington's classic rock station.
WK Piercefield.
So, second and goal. Here's Bowler on a keeper. Over the right-hand side, he slips in, and Adam Bowler, bing, bang, boom. Spy Ponders have life.
I like that call. Let Adam Bowler do it with his feet. Put it on your senior quarterback to get in the end zone. And he really sold that fake and created a lane for himself. And Adam Bowler for Pater.
So 35-14. Rob, I'd have to take off my shoes and socks. What's the deficit here? We know if they're going to go for 2.
Well, the deficit is 21.
So
probably not.
No, 8 times 3 is 24. No, just 3 scores away. 3 scores will put you up. So you're going to kick it here.
It's not impossible, guys. You just got to keep dreaming on.
Outstanding, Max. And Max can be heard in the mornings on K Pierce from 6 to 12 on the drive time. So the Spy Ponders, I'm assuming they're going for 1, right, Ponder?
They should be kicking the ball, and Swift is setting up the tee. So if they get it, it'll make it a 3-possession.
Right.
3-possession game.
And I mean, 8 times 3, you get do 3 twos, and it's only going to.
We're going to have to talk about this later, Scott.
Okay. Yeah, we're a little bit too far to math. Where I need to be.
I don't know if I say go fish after that.
And he's up. He's good. And with 10-11 left, the Spy Ponders are down 35-15. And Rob, so now we got a little momentum coming this way, but the defense has to really step up.
You'd love to see some kind of a turnover, and we talked about this last week. At what point does the defense start kind of stripping the ball? That opens you up to the offense making a big play, but increases the chances that you'll get the turnover. I think we're pretty close to that point.
Yeah, and Max, last week you talked to us a little bit about stripping the ball, and I'd certainly heard the helmet on the ball. What was the other one you used, Max? When you you rip with one hand, what do you do with the other hand? And I guess Max is planning his rotation DJ wise for tomorrow morning's set.
Yeah, I gotta get the good lineup set up.
No, Max, but we were talking up here about stripping the ball. Could you tell us a little bit about? We talked about the helmet last week, but what was the other kind of way you would strip the ball?
Well, I just watched a game. It was a beautiful. It was Stephon Gilmore. It was against Churns, I think. Churns Senior on the Jaguars. Punched it right out of there.
Yes,
it was beautiful. That was textbook right there.
Yeah, that was in the Pats game
Too
Sunday.
bad they couldn't win, but
right, the Pats
it was a textbook play.
It was a turnover by punching that football. So they partner they display that ball. This is when you're going to take a swipe at it, a punch at it. You want to hit the ball. You want to get the ball to hit the ground. So here's the kickoff, and Derek Harley will take it. He'll zig and zag and zoom. Wow. Harley with a nice return. Finally brought down by Pazia, but I'll tell you, some tremendous special teams by both teams tonight.
Nice return by Harley. Some of my favorite beings in Winchester are named Harley.
Absolutely. Everybody loves Harley. I was actually at Winchester High with Harley this morning.
Harley is your golden retriever.
My golden retriever, Harley, who got recognized more than anyone else in the car. And my daughter goes to Winchester High, and I live in Winchester, so Harley's the most famous person or human, or excuse me, being in our household. At least this morning was. So 1st and 10 for the Sachems. Trips to the bottom of your screen, kind of a train set. And they keep the super sophomore who stumbles and bumbles and mumbles, and Jimmy Gibbons just looks stout and strong.
Very good field position here for the Sachems. 9:46 to go. 3-possession game. You think they would keep the ball in the middle of the field, maybe run the ball here, get it to Curran again. Gibbons has done his job. Now it's time for the other guy to kind of, run some clock.
Well, it's interesting, Robbie, say that, and the one beauty that you get is, healthy competition. Gibbons now is saying to himself, Curran is now saying to himself, okay, Gibbons has done his job, just as you mentioned. Now it's time for me to show what I can do as a senior captain. And the senior captain, someone who's team-oriented and trying to do what's best for the team, is going to say, okay, now that he contributed good for him, now I'm going to show where I can, so the coach has more options next week. 1st and 10 for the Sachems. Clock rolls coming up on 9 minutes left in the contest. Sachems lead 35-15. And the super sophomore back in the game now, Jimmy Gibbons.
Interception would be nice here.
I'm not sure they're going to put the ball up, Max. I think they're going to be very content to hand the ball off to this two-headed monster of Gibbons and Curran, because partner, they've just been dynamite tonight.
Yeah, they've kind of figured it out, I think, even against the 3 linebackers. They have some really athletic guys up front that can really get to the next level and get their hands on the backer and still allow those running lanes to be open.
And by up front, you mean you're impressed with the offensive line
Yes.
of Winchester. Active. They've shown a lot of speed on pulling when they've run pulling plays, and they're getting out to the linebackers, as you say, and the plays up the middle have been pretty successful.
And now he will throw the ball, and a little safe pass that time is complete to the other tri-captain, Matt Ramanga. And, Rob, that's a risky play. That's kind of safe.
Yeah, I would say that's a safe play. Little swing pass. The only kind of risk of that play is that if the halfback comes out too flat and you end up throwing a lateral that hits the turf, that could be a problem.
And that's why you like that your quarterback's a senior. Tony Florentino is a senior. He's been through the wars. He filled in last year for one of their better quarterbacks in the last 15 years, Fitzpatrick. And stumbling and bumbling and mumbling up is, I think that was the super sophomore. And no, it was Brendan Curran. So they're going to kind of mix and match here. And that's a first down for Winchester. The clock rolls coming under 6 minutes. 7 minutes, excuse me. So they'll place the ball at the 21, 1st and 10. Florentino taking his time now. And he gives it back to the senior captain. And Curran over the left-hand side, that C gap, brought down by a host of Arlington defenders led by David Lopes. And Rob, it's been a struggle for the Spy Ponders, but Lopes has played well.
Lopes has played well, and we saw him get his first carry of the season on offense and showed some speed. Good game for David Lopes. And we haven't heard from the sound system in a while. I don't know whether they've got their Aerosmith playlist going. They might try Train Kept a Rollin' here.
100%, although the wrong team is being the train right now. So
Yeah.
clock rolls. We got a first and not a first. Yeah, first and goal from the 7. So we'll see what they dial up here. We got the super sophomore Gibbons in. Let's see if they reward him for his yeoman's work tonight.
Sure.
And he goes over the left-hand side, but a nice play there by McGivery. And McGivery's had a strong game.
McGivery's played great tonight, and he got into the backfield. He has pursued plays very, very well, and that time, I don't know how many solo tackles he's had, but it's been quite a few.
So clock rolls coming up on 5:15 left in the contest. Spy Ponders down 35-15. Second and goal from the 10. And they give it back to the super sophomore who zigs and zags and zooms. And they're going to put him down at the 1. That time brought down by Peter Roach. And
this is a really long and time-consuming drive right here.
The Sachems have had success, Rob, on the A gap and the B gap, those the gaps inside the tackles, and it's been impressive. They've ran the ball well. Max is right. This is just a clock-eating drive, just what they want and need. They bring in Curran, the captain. We'll see if they hand him off after a little bit of motion. And no, it'll be Florentino finishing just the way he started. He trips into the end zone, but it's a touchdown, and the Sachems are pouring it on. So Florentino over the left-hand side stumbles into the end zone to put the icing on the cake, and he'll try to kick the extra point to put the Sachems out of reach, and somebody's nicked up on the play, as it would appear that is Will Meyer. And Rob, we see the Spy Ponders huffing and puffing, struggling. It's been a long night on defense, hasn't it?
They've been on the field constantly, and the Winchester offense is advertised to be a spread offense coming into the ball game, and they've been running the ball real well up front. I said one of the keys of the game was whichever team could control the game on the ground might walk away with a victory. That's very definitely been the Winchester Sachems tonight.
The professor on top of it. Pre-game. The kick is up, and another one's blocked. That can be 2 points the other way, but this time the Sachems grab it. They can get 2 points themselves, but a nice arm tackle there by a host of Spy Ponders, led by Henry Burns, the super sophomore Burns, and the Spy Ponders prevent the deuce and are down 41-15 with 4:08 left in the game. And Rob, with 4:08 left, and the Spy Ponders here, what are you looking to do as you head into next week?
Well, keep your health, number one. I think that you want to do that. Adam Bowler, there's no quit in Adam Bowler. This game is out of reach. It's in the refrigerator. They're not going to win and all that. I'm sitting here watching Adam Bowler warm up on the sideline, and he looks like he's about to go into the game, go into the Super Bowl and run a 2-minute drill for the victory. He's, I know he might rightfully be upset by this, but I think Bowler's going to go in and try to fire the ball around the field and try to score.
Well, the prevailing idea of how you attack athletics is you start where you are, do what you can, and use what you have. So you start where you are. You're here now. You can't do anything about the past. You can only start from where you are right here. So, the healthy approach is I'm going to try to get better right now. I'm not going to concern myself with how I got here. I'm going to concern myself with what I'm doing from here. And it's going to be both teams' ability to have that mentality, both Winchester and Arlington, going forward. Winchester, how are they going to go from the point of being successful, and Arlington from the point of making some mistakes.
Can you repeat that, Scott? I want to add that to my repertoire. What's this? Start where you are.
Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can.
Start where you are. Use
Arthur
what you
Ashe
have.
quote.
Do what you can.
Yep.
Arthur Ashe.
Yep. Arthur Ashe.
That's a good one.
Yep. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. It's something that me and we've talked with my daughter Bianca before. We've talked about that a lot, about athletics at all the levels. And that one of the things most important is that it's not for any sport or level. It's whatever. That's what.
I got one.
Go ahead.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go in a group.
There you go. I like that. I like that a lot.
That's a good one.
Very nice. Very nice. Anyway, so with 4:03, we'll see the.
I got another one.
Lay it on us.
If you want to defeat your enemy, attack his weakness. If you want to crush your enemy, attack his strength.
That's one of my favorite ones. I love that one.
It's Napoleon.
I love that one. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So
what? All right.
This is
transition.
Yeah.
So what are the strengths of the Spy Ponders? So would you say that Winchester did that tonight?
They
I'll
did.
put you to the test.
I did, and that's why that came to mind.
Right.
Winchester got to Adam Bowler and made Adam Bowler uncomfortable in the pocket, made him pull down the ball and run with it, and hurried him up. And with Adam Bowler throwing the ball around the field, comfortable in the pocket, Ponders going to win. Adam Bowler looking like the Winchester made him look tonight. Getting pressure on him is going to make it tough.
Make it very tough. And then, Rob, you add on, you said beforehand the team that ran the ball the most probably would have success. And certainly Winchester ran the ball, but especially inside the tackles, which is just exactly what you said, running into the strength. That is a hallmark strength of a Spy Ponder defense.
Certainly against Stoneham, they handled the inside very, very well.
So 1st and 10. Bowler's going to air one out deep. Had a man intended for McGivelry. Covered there. Some nice coverage by Patrick Ross, another super sophomore, Ross. And Bowler, maybe trying to work on the touch passes. So 2nd and 10. Clock mercilessly stops at 3:52, but as I always said, partner, when it's 66 degrees, these things can go all night.
Yeah, go all night.
Go all night.
We got a nice little breeze coming into the booth. Bohemian Rhapsody on the sound system.
Some classic rock. Toss away, Bowler. Toss away, baby. There you go. Work that arm out. Little pitch and a little catch that time to McGivelry. And McGivelry's had a game, and the Spy Ponders will go fast.
I think this is the second string in now for Winchester. I see they're a little bit smaller. Look a little younger.
I like that McGivelry did not go down that time. He put his shoulder down and he struggled for that one extra yard. Using what he has, doing what he can.
Absolutely. Way to go, partner. You're on page. 1st and 10 for the Spy Ponders. Here's both a little pitch and a little catch. And that's going to be, again, Peter Roach. Not again, I thought it was going to be McGivelry. But Bowler now spreading the wealth. Clock stops at 3:18. And take your time, Bowler. 68 degrees. Just take your time marching them down the field and put this ball in the end zone.
Well, if you're the Spy Ponders, you'd like to see the ball going in the end zone one final time, if only to build a little pride going into a week of practice. And I don't know if you can get momentum going into next week, but it certainly can't hurt.
1st and 10. Clock stopped with 3:18 left in the contest. And here we go. is Roach, and Roach carries the ball, can't get the edge. Wrapped up and brought out of bounds by Adam Bischoff, the junior, 5'10", 180 pounds. And what is going on here? Oh,
It's like Peter
Evans.
Roach has some kind of a cramp.
he does have a cramp, so unfortunately we'll stop the clock for Peter Roach. And replacing him is going to be Kane Lynch, the super sophomore, 5'10", 150 pounds. And that'll stop the clock with 3 minutes left. Rob, you see the Spy Ponders here. They've moved the ball in this game, and there are a lot of positives. To me, it feels like they just weren't consistent tonight.
Yeah. I think that's a good call. Every time they would get close, they would have some little nick and falter.
It's 41-15, and the reason I say that, we've seen 41-15 games where a team was just outmatched as they goes deep, and a nice catch. Oh, and a even better defensive play there by James Lowenstein. Holy cow, look at Lowenstein here. What a play by Lowenstein.
Wow, that was a good play, ripping the ball away from McGilvray. It looked like McGilvray had made a great catch, and Lowenstein, and good job by the officials calling that. That almost looked like kind of a catch, and then the ball out of bounds, but not quite, and the Stripes was right on top of it.
Yeah, you got to complete the catch. You got to go all the way to the ground. And
the ancient Greeks called that the process of the catch.
Yeah. Is that what they did?
They did.
The ancient Greeks.
The ancient Greeks believed one needed to complete the process of the catch.
Holy cow. The god of Terrell Owens. And that's a nice catch. I think, yeah, a nice, beautiful catch there by Peter Roach. Outstanding.
What a catch. He completed the process of the catch. And watch Bowler fire this ball to the outside shoulder where only Peter Roach can get it. And Roach stretch for it. That's, if you're Peter Roach, that's the kind of play that after this game these guys are going to be talking about. Yeah, remember you threw it outside, I had to turn for it.
Tied the game up.
Yeah, right.
10 years from now.
10 years from now.
A little pitch, and that time it's intended for McGilvray, and Bowler just every time he tries to get in a rhythm, he kind of breaks it.
Yeah.
Then they give credit to the Winchester defense. They've been stout. They've been up to the task. No doubt. No doubt.
So it's second and goal from the 10, or maybe it's
10.
Not quite goal.
No.
So we're going to see him wing it in the end zone 3 straight times here.
I hope. Then again, I shouldn't be too hard. It's 68 degrees. Take your time, Bowler. Take your time. It's all right. Incomplete there. Intended for Sam Swift, and so clock will stop. 2:19 left in the contest. Spy Ponders down 41-15. And third and goal. You wonder if with 2:19 left, Robbie, you maybe set this up with a run. You might make fourth down easier here, or maybe work on your 4th and 10 play, 3rd and 10, 4th and 10 play.
I suspect they'll just try and wing it into the end zone. It gets tougher down here, though. You're right, Scott. You need to have a strong running game, to have a good red zone offense, because the field compresses. It has less yardage for the defense to cover.
Yeah, Bowler that time looked for his outlet pass, and that was Pazia, who's made a couple of nice catches tonight. Pazia's played well. Had a nice big run earlier in the game, but that's a play, I think, Rob, that Bowler's going to have to really get adept at as these teams start teeing off and trying to put that pressure on.
Yeah, that's something that the Spy Ponders are going to have to work on, is the counters, the screens, the little check-offs. They can't let this happen again. We see what happens when there's too much pressure.
So this is it. This is the last stand here for the Spy Ponders. 2:14 left in the contest. Bowler brings his troops up to the line on a 4th and goal from the 10. Let's see what he dials up. Adam Bowler. He's got time. A little pitch. And in and out of the hands that time of Aiden Woon McGinty. And the Spy Ponders turn the ball over on downs.
Oh, that's really too bad. It was a good chance for Woon McGinney to get into the end zone, and he really had it in his hands there. And maybe he was waiting for the big hit. There were 3 defenders around him, and perhaps he heard footsteps. But, either way, no points for the Spy Ponders.
No, so with 2:07 left, and we have some of the junior varsity players in here to close this one out for both teams. As in for quarterback, in at quarterback for the Sachems is Charlie Ward. Not to be mistaken for Gundy, made it to an NBA Finals, actually. And Ward will hand it off there. And not sure who got the football. It was a little bit of a mess, and it ends up with the clock rolling, coming up on 150. And now that the clock's rolling at the end of the ball game here, partner, I'm going to give my player of the game award, and that's to the Bing Bang Boom Award at ACMi is going to go to super sophomore Jimmy Gibbons. I was just impressed with Gibbons, the 5'9", 170-pound sophomore. I was impressed with his breakaway speed, his elusiveness. He was dynamic. He was sensational and super, and he gets my Bing Bang Boom Award. So, Rob, who gets your Player of the Game award for the Spy Ponders?
Well, I'm going to give it to Stephen McGiveray. He came up big on both sides of the ball, had a lot of individual tackles, pursued from the weak side, dragged around runners from behind, and on offense, I don't know how many catches he had, maybe 7 or 8 catches, but he got tough yards after the catch. He, a two-way player who was physical, a leader, had a big game. Stephen McGiveray gets the call.
Absolutely. And Max, so I gave my Bing Bang Boom Award for Jimmy Gibbons. And your player of the game, if you were to pick someone from Winchester other than Gibbons, we have the defensive back, Curran, we have the quarterback, Florentino. Who would get it for you?
Can I make a little diversion here? Can I pick the whole offensive line as my
Absolutely,
my MVP?
100%.
They are my MVP. Without them, Gibbons and Florentino don't have those great games. They really had a tremendous day out there. They looked athletic, they looked powerful, and they made a big difference.
I would say, Max, I really like that. And, Rob, I know you pointed out the offensive line. They just did yeoman's work for the Sachems. As the clock runs out and our final score here at Pierce Field, Winchester Sachems 41, your Spy Ponders 15. And, Rob, just to finish the point of the offensive line, they're tremendous for Winchester tonight.
The offensive line was tremendous, and the game plan that the coaching staff put in was tremendous also, because they spread out the Spy Ponders and created a lot of individual one-on-one matchups, and then the Winchester Sachems executed one-on-one, and they made it tough for the Spy Ponders to do the work that they had to do. So I think the coaching staff for Winchester, as long as we're throwing bouquets, gets a bouquet from me.
And so now we're going to look forward, Rob, for the Spy Ponders. They're going to have to shake this off. This is the fact of life in sports, athletics, football. You're going to move on. You're going to start where you are, as we joked about. But starting where they are now it's on to Lexington. Lexington at home, and then Reading. It's at Woburn. Excuse me. No rest of we're at Woburn next week. And then Lexington back here at home in 2 weeks, the 5th. So, no rest for the Spy Ponders.
No rest at all. And, they had a few guys. Tyler Callahan was in civvies tonight. It looked like Pazzi was limping a little bit. We saw some cramps on the field. They better get healthy quick, because the schedule doesn't get easier from here.
And for the Spy, for the Sachems, Rob, that's who goes. They welcome Lexington in next week, and they go at Belmont. If they could find a way to get a W against Lexington, they're ready to go.
Yeah, they got to be smelling playoffs. I mean, their confidence has to be high that they came onto the road and had what for this program is a big win, and they earned it.
They sure did earn it, as you see Coach Gendron there rallying the troops. And Rob, after a loss, actually, it's notice to you, Max, after a loss, it's really important that the team stay positive. Talk to me about, senior leadership and how that plays a role after taking it on the chin like this in a game like this.
Yeah, the seniors, they're expected every time, no matter whether you're the best team or the worst team, to be the leaders on your team. They've been here for 4 years. They understand what it takes to have a successful season, and they need to get behind the team and say, this isn't over. We're 3 games into this season. There's a whole season to go. We can still turn this around. We have the talent. We have the ability. All we need to do is put it together.
Work hard. You listen to the coaching staff,
Yep.
and just kind of stay positive. And that's the sort of thing that Coach Jen, as we see the Sachems getting together, and that's the challenges facing them. But with the Sachems now, there's going to be no rah-rah speeches needed, is there?
Oh no! What they're going to be preaching is let's go, keep up the good work here, and let's go in Lexington and take care of business. And this conference is wide open. So I was just looking at the records tonight. Woburn plays Belmont. Belmont, the last shall be first. Belmont comes into that contest 2-0. Woburn 0-2. So we could see the power in the Middlesex large division, flipping under our very eyes.
Well, you really brought me to my next segment, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about what I thought might be happening here tonight. And there was it was a chance of a changing of a guard, of a new sheriff in town. And one win doesn't a season make, but if Winchester is to ever say that claim superiority in football, getting a win is certainly a way to start. But for the Spy Ponders, they need to realize kind of what they do have.
Yeah, no question. And although Scott, I might say that in some sense they can't be worried about all that.
Right,
I mean,
right.
we've been throwing around sayings tonight. How do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time, right?
Yep.
From here tomorrow they got to have a good day of practice, or the day after tomorrow. Tomorrow they got to ice up, right?
Yeah.
And go one step at a time and try to get better as a football team.
Yeah, so you just get a little bit better, do the best you can, trying with that, and so I think we're gonna talk to Coach Gendron in a moment here. And Rob, you like to see coaches, he's coming up right now, taking the time to talk to us. After struggling a little bit, that shows class. It shows dignity. It's kind of who he is, and
this can't be a pleasant walk for him.
No, it can't be. But
right?
he's doing it because he cares about the kids. He cares about the community, and I know he's going to fight to get better, and that's what we're going to talk to him a little about in a second here. And so our final again tonight, as we wait on Coach Gendron. Winchester 41, your Spy Ponders 15, and the Spy Ponders will move on the road. They will go at Woburn, and then Lexington comes back here the 5th, and so we're lucky to have with us here after a tough one, Coach Gendron. Coach Gendron, welcome to the post-game show.
Scott.
And just a tough one tonight.
Yeah, tough game. And I think the score doesn't necessarily reflect the whole game and some of the back-and-forth action, but, they say the turnover statistic is one of the most important ones in football. And we gave the ball up 3 times and didn't take it away at all. And I think those turnovers, I think, amplified some mistakes that we were making and took away some opportunities. So disappointed with both sides of the ball, quite frankly. But Winchester made the plays when they were there, and we didn't. And, we got to play a lot better next week.
So about next week, obviously you can't stay focused on this for long.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to turn the page. How do you turn a page? What is the mentality going forward after struggling like this?
Well, I think, the coaches, we can't continue to do the same thing that we've been doing. Coaches need to take some accountability and figure out, either we coached that or allowed it to happen. So we need to look at what we're doing. I think we also need to look closely at the film and figure out who's doing what, who's doing what we're asking for their position-specific assignment, and who's freewheeling or making it up or improvising, because there's no room in, even high school varsity football, there's no room for improv. So we're going to be searching for system guys. We don't ask them to do anything crazy, but that one job. And if you get 11 guys doing their job, it looks a lot better than how it looked tonight.
Now, in general, you've been here for a while. You kind of got your mindset set up, and you're always positive. How important is it to stay positive, even though you might be a little bit negative right now, even in the assessing, but the overall attitude has to be positive, doesn't it?
It has to be. I mean, these guys come out and work for 2 hours a day, and there's so many other things that they could be doing, and you see the sideline. There aren't many people out here because it's hard. And for a high school kid to work hard and give up the niceties of their high school experience to sacrifice for something, I mean, man, that's so important. Aside from wins and losses and stats and all that crap, these kids are learning to really sacrifice for one another. So, I mean, to me, that's the bigger picture. I mean, you saw the game. They're trying to drive with 2 minutes left against whoever's on the field. They're trying their best. So, I think it's important to separate effort from execution, and attitude from winning and losing. So the kids are trying, they're doing their best, but at the same time we have to hold them to higher expectations because they can that, and it's kind of our job to squeeze that out of them.
So being positive, trying to get better is kind of the
all
way
day
to go.
long, and having fun. It stinks losing, but football's a fun game. There's nothing like it, and we don't want these guys to get in the mindset that it's only fun if you win, it's only fun if you lose. Man, competing should be fun the whole time, and so that's kind of the attitude that we're trying to bring for these guys.
Of course. And Coach, obviously a tough one tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time to come with us and let us know what you thought happened and how positive you're going to be going forward. So appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, so that's going to be it for us here. For my partner, Rob Anthony, for Max Cohen, I'm Scott Zwick saying have a good night, and bing, bang,